Let's roll. I am Gabe Morency on the SportsGrid radio and television networks, the Combat Sports Report, and we've got a hell of a lot of stuff to report on the program this week. It's been a very busy week of mixed martial arts and everything else in between, inside the cage, outside the cage. We've got championships on the line in various different companies this week. There's a lot of stuff to break down, so let's get right down to business. And I'm always fascinated when fighters join us so close to a fight, because I got to believe it's not an ideal situation, but Jena Bishop is doing just that as she's throwing it down for the PFL Flyweight Championship Friday night at the Bojangles Coliseum in Charlotte. Jena Bishop steps up and in and joins us right now on the Combat Sports Report. Jena, thanks a lot for taking the time to be with us. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing okay. So, well, I got to ask you, and you can be honest, you have to promote these fights, obviously, and the bigger you get, you want to be in higher profile situations where people want to interview, but at the same point in time, I'm like cutting into your training, like a couple of days before a fight like this, especially in the afternoon. Is it difficult for you to do this? And how long before the fight do you sort of shut out the rest of the world and you put like badass Jena face on and you're not nice to anybody anymore?
I actually try and stay nice as much as possible. The parts where I'm the meanest is when I'm like in my training camp. So this week, it's just weight cut. So I'm hungry and, that's about it. So it's a little bit easier this week than, maybe if you talked to me last week, I'd have been stressed.
So it's almost like the Super Bowl, right? Like they have the media week, but the work's already done, right? Like they've already practiced, they're ready to go. So your prep is already done for this. I know it's a generic question to ask, how did your camp go? Because very rarely a fighter, I think Frank Trigg was the one guy who told me, Gabe, my camp actually wasn't very good. And he was like the only fighter in the history of fighting, Jena, that ever told me, yeah, I didn't have a good camp. But how was your camp? And you're only as good as the people you train with in camp as well. So who helped you get ready for this fight, and how did the training camp go?
Yeah, training was good. It's as good as it always is. My main training partners, it was nice because Angela Hill is one of my main training partners, and she just fought last weekend, so we were in camp together. I had Kat Zingano and Ashley Yoder. Those are like some of my top people that I train with, and even got to was really lucky to JJ Aldridge. She was supposed to be fighting tomorrow. She had an injury in camp, but she came in San Diego and trained with us for a week too. So yeah, I had like a lot of really good girls around me. Really good camp.
That's pretty awesome. That's quite the crew you've got ready.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, well, yeah. So you pretty much, and you have different type of fighters, right? Powerful fighters, strikers, different type of fighters. So you made it to the semis last year. You're used to tournaments. You've won world championships in jiu-jitsu before. You're used to tournament formats, but MMA a little bit different. And, all sports are kind of similar in a way. And we've seen a pattern here, Jena. Teams get to the Stanley Cup Finals, they lose, they get back, they win. Right? Team gets to the Super Bowl, they lose, they get back, they win. How do you take last year's experience into this tournament? And how driven are you from what happened last year in this?
Oh yeah, I'm super driven. It's any kind of loss will just eat at you until like you can get like the redemption on it. And so for me, it's just like, yeah, like I think that that was something that I feel like I just missed out on for, yeah, a lot of other things happening. And this year, I think it's just like, I feel like it's my year. It's my time. I'm ready. And I'm like super motivated to go in there and win that belt.
Now, I saw Liz Carmouche, Jena's opponent, state that she doesn't think that you're comfortable striking, that's where she thinks she has an advantage, and that you're going to want to get the fight to the ground. When fighters say stuff like this, do you think I've seen fighters like Conor McGregor's good at that, sort of baiting people into doing what they don't want you to do, right? So do you listen to interviews like when she talks or other fighters, what they say about you? Or do you like to not and just block all that extra stuff out?
Yeah, I don't like to listen to it at all because it's like it makes no difference to me. They can say whatever they want. People are gonna talk. You have to hype up the fight. You have to maybe hype up yourself and make yourself believe these certain things to get to the fight. So for me, I just like don't really pay attention to a lot of it. Mind my own business, do my work, show up, and you can say all you want, but then we'll see what happens because we all have to step in the cage at some point, and that's where all the talk is like worthless at that point. It's just like we're doing it now.
So obviously she's a veteran fighter. There's a lot of tape out there. Are you the type of fighter, and is your camp the type of fighter? Do you kick back and eat popcorn and watch her fights at all? Because a lot of fighters, some fighters like to watch. Other fighters tell me, no, that's what my trainer's for, and they'll tell me what to look out for. I don't want to watch my opponent. Every fighter is different, so I'm curious with you. It's kind of hard not to see her. And also, she's in San Diego, so I want to ask you, have your paths crossed? Do you know the same people? What's the dynamic coming into this for you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to like watch at all. Like I just let my coaches do that. They tell me we put a strategy together. But at the end of the day, I want to be focused on myself. Like I can't worry about this and that what she's going to do because it just gets in your head. For me at least this is like I want to focus on what I am good at and my strengths, and if I can be the best version of myself, like then I know that that's good enough to beat anyone. And so, yeah, that's kind of what. And Liz, she was in San Diego for a long time, and I know her and her coach like moved away, but so she hasn't really been there consistently. But we have trained together a couple different times. We've trained with the same coach for wrestling, and yeah, so we have a little bit of experience with each other.
It doesn't seem to be like a bad blood fight. You just both want to win the freaking championship, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like no bad blood. Like she's cool. Like, when I've seen her around, I'm like, this time I was like, I know this tournament, I was like expecting us to be in the finals together, but it's just like, yeah, like, hey, cool, let's go, like have some fun. But I want to win. So
Now, San Diego is a super cool city, and it's kind of known for surfing and being chill, but it's a great fight town too, right? I just think of Dominic Cruz as well. So many great fighters and gyms, and your guys' gym. Talk to me about Alliance and what you guys do as well.
yeah, like I do my training all over the place. So there's not like San Diego is a great town for fighting and especially for jujitsu as well. Like that's why I kind of moved out there was for a lot of jujitsu. And so at Alliance, that's like where I do my jujitsu. That's where I teach and train mostly. But my striking coach is out of a 10th Planet gym, so I'm up there. I do wrestling at a different place. I'm all over and kind of just piecing together, but we have a good group of like core girls that we all coordinate and train together. So yeah, it's good for me.
Awesome stuff, Jen. It sounds like you have a great team around you. We wish you the best of luck. Can't wait to see how this goes down. Friday night, Charlotte. The Bojangles Coliseum PFL Flyweight Championship, the tournament, the finals are on. It's a go time. Best of luck, Jenna. Thanks a lot for taking the time to be with us.
Thank you.
There's Jena Bishop with us on the Combat Sports Report on the SportsGrid Radio and Television and Network. We're fired up, like I said. Got a great show today. We got a bunch of guests. We got a bunch of stuff to break down. And, of course, we've got a bunch of picks for you as well. And just for the record, if you recall last week, the picks went pretty well for us. We talked a controversial card, which we'll get into. Lou Gamblu is going to step up, and in Gamblu.com in the house with us and more. The Combat Sports Report continues on the SportsGrid Radio and Television Network.
Vegas knows how to celebrate. if you're headed to Vegas for your birthday, plan ahead to get all the birthday freebies the city has to offer. Just by showing your ID, you could get free cash play, scratch cards, drinks, and food at various venues on the Strip. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
He said that was his decision, not a smart baseball play. Like, shut up, Dave. Like, you know what I mean? Like, really. If Ohtani wants to steal third base on his own, let him steal third base on his own, bro. Like, he's Shohei Ohtani. He made the call. He was wrong. He was out. Okay. I wouldn't have called him out for it.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Multiple times on 18 today. It was just so wild. I mean, the distances, JJ hit it to the exact same spot. He had 30 feet, 36 feet, and 30 feet, and made the second playoff hole, the 30-footer there. And then they go to recut the hole,
which I like. I like that, by the way.
Oh, I thought it was great, but I'm like, dude, he might hole out from the fairway. Like, he cut the hole where he's hit every single approach shot.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
What would you tell the people right now, though? Like, okay, I like the Rams heading into the season, but I'm not sure about Matthew Stafford because people want to get their bets in. People want their team totals. People want to bet week number 1 here. So what's your prognosis on the Rams? We'll talk long-term in a second. Week number 1. Are we just going to say, like, yeah, he's ready. Bullets are flying. He looks great out there because he is a tough dude. But again, a back injury for a quarterback trying to get all that torque on passes, usually not good.
The Early Line, only on
Combat Sports Report continues. I am Gabe Morency. Thanks to Jena Bishop for joining us on the program. Wish her the best of luck against Liz Carmouche. Carmouche is like a minus 350 favorite in that fight for the record. Now, speaking of odds, let's bring in a man that knows a thing or two about MMA odds, one of the best in the business, Lou, Gamblu.com, in the house with us as we talk UFC 319 and get Lou's opinion on some of these fights at a championship fight, and a rare instance, Lou, in which the challenger is actually the favorite. Not the first time it's ever happened, but it's rare to see that. Lou, it's always a pleasure. Welcome to the Combat Sports Report, Lou.
Gabriel, thanks so much for having me on. I appreciate it. It's great to talk a little UFC on the Combat Sports Report with you. And you're right, unusual to see the favorite being the challenger. It happens on occasion. In this case, Chimaev, challenger, open 200, and he's now crept up into that 220, 230 range. Take back on the South African Dricus du Plessis anywhere from 170 at open to 200 currently.
Now, one thing with Chimaev, he's been hyped up as the next great one for a while now, but there's been inactivity, right? One thing after another, injury, illness, withdraws, right? And it's just sort of, he fights basically once a year. Let's call it out for what it is. Essentially, he fights basically once a year. He hasn't been very active, but he's also scary as hell. And people that train with him think that he's like one of the greatest, like all time, like in the Khabib type of range, that he's just point blank unbeatable. Duplessis is an awkward fighter, though, Lou. Is he awkward enough, though, to confuse Hazmat, which I think is going to be a problem for him?
To me, Chimaev has been inactive. He fought Whitaker, a shell. I shouldn't say a shell, but that's not the Robert Whitaker that we saw fight Yoel Romero. That was his last fight. So in the last year and a half, he's had one fight. Duplessis defended his title 3 times in the last 2 years. Duplessis is the active fighter. He's the legitimate 185er. Chimaev, early in his career, was bouncing between 85 and 70. Now, in the 2 fights that Chimaev has won previous to Whitaker, Gil Burns and Gil Burns and Kamaru Usman. Those are Burns is a 155er that took the fight at 70, and Usman is the ex-170 champ who's now, for the most part, beyond his prime, and he took the fight up at 85 on short notice. And in each case, those men had Chimaev into the second round, somewhat wobbled, tired, and showing himself to be a human being. Chimaev gets shot out of a cannon, and for 7 to 10 minutes, he is the boogeyman, make no mistake about it. But Du Plessis knows that and is going to plan on running from Chimaev for 2 rounds to get this to the third round? No. Du Plessis is going to meet fourth with fourth, and he is going to go right out after Chimaev with the sole intention of testing him hard for 10 minutes. And if this fight hits the third round, I believe it's all Du Plessis, and I am on the Du Plessis side. Make no mistake about it, this is going to be a harrowing 7 or 8 minutes in those first 2 rounds.
And the cardio has to be an issue, and that's something that people are talking about in this fight. And Dricus is an awkward fighter, Lou, right? Like, is he great at, like, he's not really great at anything, but he's good at everything. And I don't think it's cliche to say this, Lou. And I think fighters, I don't think people talk about it enough, but someone's mental toughness. Like, the dude just doesn't get broken, right? Like, he's confident going in. He doesn't get mentally broken. He believes that he is going to win. He believes that he is tougher than you and that you can't hurt him, right? And that helps if you have that belief.
Without question. And he asked for this fight. He sought this fight out. And honestly, the other problem Chimaev has had is visa issues. There's a long history there, and there's reasons he can't get to the U.S. Well, he got to the U.S. to Chicago for this fight because our president helped him. But that's another layer in this whole handicap. But at the end of the day, the winners of this fight are going to be the fans that tune in to watch this, because it's going to be those 2 Rams on the side of the hill lining up and then going and bashing each other right in the middle, and the best man's going to win.
So you said you think the underdog, you're going to look at the underdog guy here, Lou. The total of the fight is 2.5 in this card. And as you stated, Dricus isn't going to, he's not going to backpedal here, right? It's not going to, he's not going to backpedal. He's not going to get on a bicycle, but at the same point in time, he does know the longer the fight goes, he's going to have an advantage. What do you think about the 2.5?
I surely believe what you just said. I believe that Du Plessis understands that he wants to drown this kid in his own lack of cardio. Now, Chimaev knows his lack of cardio, and surely he's been addressing it in all this time off, but addressing it with opponents and sparring partners
not the
is
same
different.
As being in a real fight. Yeah.
You're exactly right. And so there's many reasons that I think Du Plessis, let's not forget the fact that he's a huge middleweight. He cuts dynamic weight. And again, those 2 welterweights, and Burns is hardly a welterweight, he's really a lightweight, scared Chimaev in the late second rounds of their fight. And so Du Plessis simply needs to manage this fight with output, and by that I mean he has to take what Chimaev offers, give him more back, and make sure to hear the bell to round 3.
I want to look at Du Plessis, his history of being an underdog, actually, because he is often just underestimated. This is another thing, right? He wasn't a hyped up guy. He kind of came out of nowhere, and people are like, who the hell is this guy? Right? But sometimes the who the hell is this guy guys can be pretty effing tough guys, and he is that guy right now. More with the great Lou from Gamblu.com on the other side. The Combat Sports Report continues.
Want to play roulette? Here's a tip. European roulette has a lower house edge than American style. The lower the house edge, the better shot you have at winning. Most online casinos offer European roulette. So, if I were you, I'd get spinning. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Justin Rose has done it so many times in his career. That's like he's so good at everything. There's nothing that he's bad at. You know, every part of his game is at close to a elite level when it's good. And so when he had it going on this week, he's not scared, dude. When he gets that look in his eye, watch out.
The Smiley Show, only on
If you don't like getting hit, you can't do BKFC point blank.
Oh, absolutely. Like in the MMA world, you have opportunities to negate getting hit more so than BKFC. You can get a takedown, you can secure a dominant position where you're less likely to get hit, and even if you are getting hit, you're less damaging because of your position.
Combat Sports Report, only on SportsGrid.
Combat Sports Report continues. I am Gabe Morency on the SportsGrid Radio and Television Networks. Lou from Gamblu.com in the house with us talking UFC 319. He thinks the dog is live, and as we stated, it's rare that the champion is a plus 200 underdog in a fight, but that's what we have in the main event at UFC 319. But Lou, you're always searching the card for the underdogs, a fight that is flying under the radar. What do you think about the rest of the card? We got the Murphy-Pico fight, Neal and Prates, and more. Where do you want to start off with the rest of the card here, Lou?
Well, if we're going to talk about a dog, I'm really having a hard time at this juncture on a Tuesday. But I do think besides Duplessis in the main event, that's a good, solid dog you can sink your teeth in. I think the next one could be, and I'm a little bit hesitant to say it because for the last few weeks, I've been pounding everyone on my podcast at what a huge advantage age is in these fights. And if you're 6 years or more younger than the younger combatant, you have 62 or better chance of winning. And in this fight, which is a lightweight fight,
so
between
6 years
Bobby
younger. Sorry, Lou, just for the record. So fighter 6 years younger wins 62% of the time.
Yes, and that as the age grows more, it can get more obtuse than that. Now, in this fight, Bobby Green, 38, and Diego Ferreira, who most people would say, well, he's 38 too. No, he's just been around a long time. He's 32. So Green is 6 years the older man. So the advantages are lying with Ferreira. However, you got to handicap the styles and the fighters. And while Ferreira is the longer, taller man, he's violent for 6-7 minutes before he really starts to go to the other side and slow down. Bobby Green's style, still rife with athleticism, strike evasion, and the pitter-patter offense, I think can survive by using his footwork, staying out of range, taking this fight to the second half of the fight, where I do believe Bobby Green will hold advantage. This one is another one where you're going to have to weather somewhat of a harrowing first 5 minutes. But I don't think Diego Ferreira, even though he's the younger man, has the speed to catch up with Green. I like Bobby Green in this matchup a little bit, and you can catch him currently at plus what, 140, 145 or so?
I just love the fact that Bobby Green and Michael Venom Page in the same building again. Like, that's a lot of ego in one building alone. Like, haven't even gotten that. What about Michael Venom Page? Speaking of age, right? I mean, I used to have this guy on the show so many years ago, and I guess was it Bellator or whatever, the World Series of Fighting, whatever the hell he was in. And he's come a long way. He's still, he was really crazy then with his style, but he's still athletic for his age, Lou. He's not a young man, but he's still athletic for his age. What do you think about him, though? But he's nearly a 2-1 favorite. I see minus 188 right now.
Gabriel, he's sick athletic. I mean, he's really got it all. 6'2", 38.
He's like 38 too, though. He's 38, which is crazy. He doesn't act 38. He doesn't look 38. No.
No, and he doesn't fight it either. His style obviously has allowed him. He's very strike evasive, and so he hasn't taken tremendous damage. He's still athletic,
it's a good
rangy
point, yeah.
as he can be. In this fight, Cannonier will be worried about cutting the cage and trying to corner the more athletic, nimble, flamboyant striker, if you will. But listen,
he said that's
Cannonier
exactly, Lou. Sorry,
heavyweight.
that's what Cannonier said. He said, "I'm going to cut off the cage." Easier said than done, as we talked about, sort of like cardio stuff. He's a hard guy to cut off the cage. Because you can't replicate fighting against Venom Page, Lou. You can't get a training partner that's going to be as weird as he is in the octagon.
That's a really good point. I totally agree with it, and therefore it lies the foundation of this handicap. Can Michael Venom Page keep Cannonier at distance? Because if Cannonier can plant his forehead on Michael Page's chest, press him into a corner and go to the body, use some leg kicks, then Cannonier will hold advantage. But getting Page corralled against the fence into a corner, easier said than done, as you say. But this should be a really great fight. A 38-year-old and a 41-year-old. In this case, Venom Page, the younger man, and that's why he's favored.
I like the over in this fight, guys, but so does the world. It's minus 275 to the over 2.5. Tim Elliott's a plus 240 underdog, Lou. Against Asakura, we got about 25 seconds. Anything else? So one name, one fight that we didn't hit that you like?
Asakura, too much. Is too much for Venom Page. Best fight on the card, Ruzaboyev against Brian Battle. Ruzaboyev, more ways to win. Battle, one bad hombre. I like Brian Battle as a short favorite in this fight. Released him some weeks ago.
Lou, you're the best. It's great to have you on a Combat Sports Report. Look forward to doing it again. Combat Sports Report continues.
The Mets are a game and a half up in the wild card race from the Cincinnati Reds. But the Cincinnati Reds are 16 to 1, Joe. 60 to 1 to win the pennant here. But I do find myself looking at the New York Mets saying, there's too much talent on that team, and we know how things work out, even with the Philadelphia Phillies in the playoffs last year. Hey, we're a good baseball team. Mets get hot at the end of the year. Mets knock the Phillies out of the playoffs. We've seen that happen before.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Jalen Lane, fourth-round receiver from Virginia Tech, who's a dynamic slot receiver. Run after the catch. He's had a phenomenal camp. Really great offseason. He is really gifted, and obviously, with McLaurin not practicing, he's getting a lot more of a look. Right. Now, the problem is, without McLaurin, they're not very deep at the outside receiver position. But Jalen Lane is a stud talent. I'm telling you, this kid should have gone higher.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
He's going to regress a little potentially in touchdowns, but his role's not going to change. There's no other superstar on this team besides Josh Allen. So to me, James Cook, they need James Cook. If the Buffalo Bills are going to repeat in that division again, they need him to be that guy in the offense because there isn't another star around Josh Allen. So James Cook is as close as it gets. I'm sorry. It's not Khalil Shakir. It doesn't look like it's ever going to be Keon Coleman or Dalton Kincaid.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Combat Sports Report continues. I am Gabe Morency on the SportsGrid Radio and Television Network and more. We told you we had a great show, and we're going to touch on a little bit of everything on the program. Let's talk some BKFC right now. We told you, for all of you in Edmonton, that, of course, BKFC hit Edmonton once again over the weekend. Another successful weekend of fights in Alberta, and another successful weekend for the Wild Boy, Drew Stuve, who remains undefeated, knocks out Santiago, $132 into the first round at the River Cree Resort and Casino. And we should say that that Drew's becoming a kingpin of the casino. Like when you walk the floor, people should part, man, and say that's the king of the River Cree right now, because he keeps on getting it done. Drew Wild Boy Stuve steps up. And Drew, how you doing, my man? Thanks a lot for taking the time to be with us.
I'm good. How you doing, man? Thanks for having me.
Hey, we're doing good. And first things first, I know I can tell from the scenic backdrop behind you, you're not in Edmonton anymore right now. So enjoying some time in Mexico after the win?
Yeah, you betcha. I'm in Cabo. Actually, me and my girl, we got engaged like a week before the fight. So
awesome.
Very bad.
Awesome stuff. Congratulations, man. So it's been a hell of a summer for you. How do you feel? Listen, it's hard to get through unscathed, man. You guys are fighting in an effing phone booth in BKFC. Hard to get through unscathed, but how do you feel, all things considering, a couple of days after the fight?
I feel great. I didn't really take any damage. I would have liked more of a fight. Honestly, Santiago just quit. You can see right there, I was just throwing him all around. I thought he was going to get up. He was trying to pretend like I hit him in the back of the head. He fought the UFC, man. He has 25 pro fights. I thought he was going to put up more of a fight. It was a little too easy.
You broke his will early, huh? And I know as a bettor, bro, and I've been betting on fights for years, I can sort of tell right away. And I'm sure you can tell watching a fight, oh, this guy's screwed or this guy's going to win early. You kind of know as a fighter too, don't you? And I know you're confident all the time, but you felt confidence after the first time you hit him in this fight, right? You could see it in his eyes that he didn't want this.
Man, I felt confident after what happened at the weigh-ins. I knew he did that because he was scared. We were talking in the back. He was trying to be all buddy with me. And then I said to him, I was like, let's go out there and put on a show. And he's like, oh, you do whatever. I'll just follow your lead. And then I got off the scale. This guy tries to double leg takedown me. As soon as I got off the scale, I didn't even say anything. I didn't even touch him. I was like, what the f***? And then I turned him, and then they made us come back out because they didn't get any of the actual face-off pictures. And he had to go live in the corner to calm down. I'm like, man, what? I was laughing the whole time. I'm like, what are you so fired up about?
And you're just calm, and you're feeling it. But at the same point in time, and I've talked to people about this, you don't learn much, right, when you win easily, right? Is how you're saying. You want a little bit more. You want to be tested, and maybe, you want to test something and work on your skills as well. I've heard you don't want to lose a fight. No one wants to lose a fight, but I've heard fighters often say, and you've been in MMA before, you often learn by losing at times. So when you said you want a little bit more, that's what I took away from that.
Yeah, man. And I trained off for 8-9 weeks. I was ready to go all 5 rounds if I needed to, but a minute. It's nice to get in and fight and get the job done and not have any injuries, but I wanted to test myself a little bit more, especially being my 3rd fight, being main event. I wanted to put on a better performance, but he just didn't really give me the opportunity.
I often find that fighting in your hometown, in your home area, in your backyard could be a negative with friends and family and maybe pressure, but you seem to have thrived off of it. What's it like fighting in Edmonton?
Oh, it's awesome, man. I sold 350 tickets for that fight. I had so much support. All the people there cheering me on and supporting me just fuels me even more and just makes me want to fight harder and put on even better performance.
And it's pretty cool, too, that BKFC kind of believes in you, right? How did this start? I know you were in mixed martial arts before, and so you've been around.
I was boxing.
Yeah, but so you were boxing, right? Exactly, in combat sports, but they had an open tryout at a gym. How did you get involved with BKFC?
Yeah, they do this show where they do tryouts, and then they take a couple guys onto the show, and then they take them and do some stuff, and they do interviews, and then they put up footage of the tryouts, and they actually contacted us to see if they could host the tryouts in Edmonton at our gym. So obviously, like, I never really had any interest in doing bare knuckle. I didn't think much of it. But like, just it being at my gym, I was like, well, yeah, of course I'm going to go. And then I ended up being like one of their top prospects. They asked me to be on that show that they did. And then, yeah, I got a fight on that first prospect series. And my first fight was the same kind of thing, man. It was the guy came out hard. He cut me, gave me like 15 stitches. But as soon as I connected and landed a couple times, he just quit. Same thing. I hit him and he fell into me. I turned him. And then he tried to pretend that he rolled and hurt his ankle. Like, these guys they don't want to fight.
So you're there and you're an intimidating looking dude. You got the tattoos, wild boy and stuff, but you don't consider yourself a crazy person. I know you played hockey, you were a goalie, and you said, man, I was never really a fighter and stuff. You were an aggressive teenager though, right? And it sort of started to grow and it started to chat a little bit, but can you believe now that you're in BKFC? You never pictured this before, right? You thought it was kind of whacked. You're like, these guys are nuts, man. They're not even wearing gloves. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's crazy, man. I honestly never saw myself here. Like, I watched it a bit before. I thought it was like fun to watch, but I thought it was insane. I didn't think I would do it. And then, I don't know. I love it now, man. I love the hype behind it. I love the BKFC, man. They just put on such a great show. They're so professional. Like, everything is top notch, and I just love fighting for them. So I'm probably only going to fight for them now, man. I'm not a boxer anymore. I'm a bare knuckle boxer now.
Now, I spoke to Dustin Page last week of BKFC. Badass dude.
Yeah,
he was in the UFC before and stuff, and we were talking about how this is not for everybody, this sport. And I saw Luke Rockhold earlier in the week saying, man, that BKFC guy stuff, I tried it. I'm not going to get my teeth knocked out, and you can't avoid getting punched. It's not for everybody, this, right? But what do you like about it so much, like, that you found a home in it? Is it just that you're that damn good at it, it seems, right? Like, but what is it about it that, were you apprehensive at first, and what has changed, like, as you went on?
I didn't really know what to expect at first. Like any fighter, I've been in a lot of street fights and shit, but I just, I don't know. I think you have to have that dog in you. And like, I've always known that I have that in me. Like, I'm a little crazy, but I don't know. I just was good at it.
You have to
now,
accept to get hit in this, right? There's no way you're not going to get hit, right, in BKFC.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like we saw in that fight card, I think it was Sturgis, that one guy who was talking to buddy on Facebook and stuff. And he was a professional boxer. He ate one bare knuckle punch and took a knee, and he was like, no, I'm done. It's like, you can take it or you can't. There's no in between.
How do you train for that, though, in a sense? Because fighters don't want to get lit up. No one wants to get knocked out in training, right? But at the same point in time, you've got it. Like, how do you work on that, actually? How do you work on a chin? Is that just something you have or you don't have? Right?
You just have to have it. Yeah, like, the training's changed a little bit. Like, I hit the bag bare knuckle a lot, or I use those bag gloves that have no padding. They're just leathers, so you don't skin your knuckles. But kind of kill the nerve endings in your knuckles, so you don't feel it as much. And then do like some grappling work. But other than that, man, I think it's just something you either have or you don't.
Comparing it to boxing, what did your boxing experience help you? It's almost like being in the corner or the center of the ring, right? It seems like BKFC is just so fast, bro. Like, as a viewer, it's just so fast. Yeah. You got to think so fast. So, I mean, did you box that fast? No one's really, Floyd Mayweather. Like, it's just these constant, like, lightning exchanges, bro.
Yeah, that's the difference with it. It's go, go, go right from the hop. Whereas boxing, it's a lot more feel it out, dance around, throw some jabs, move around, kind of see how your opponent's fighting and stuff. Whereas BKFC is just go. You just fight. First one to land the first punch.
More with the wild boy on the other side. We'll find out where he wants to go next. And I know where he wants to go next. He wants to go to the U.S. and be on an even bigger card. More with the wild boy on the other side. The Combat Sports Report continues.
You can't get thrown out like that. You just can't.
It's the only thing he's good at, is yelling at umpires.
Yeah.
Other than that, he has no feel for the game, no grasp of the game, no idea how to manage a bullpen, no idea how to write up a lineup card. He certainly has no feel for high leverage spots and who to bring in, Devin Williams. you know, there's nothing he does well other than scream and yell at the umpires.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
Tigers aren't out of first place. They're still in first place, Tom, by 5 games over the Cleveland Guardians. But you see, like, last 10 games, Detroit Tigers 5-5. Last 10 games, Guardians. Winners of 9 of 11 games, winners of 5 straight games. They're only 5 back now than the Kansas City Royals, sitting at 8.5 back. The Detroit Tigers, so much fun this year, but now facing adversity with a month and a half left in the season.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
He is not Derrick Henry. He is not one of those special backs in that sense. A really good one that's been outstanding in fantasy for quite some time. But you can also hear the buzz recently about it being more of a split backfield. And if that's so, then Aaron Jones' value takes a hit, Jordan Mason's value goes up, and there's an opportunity at some point if Aaron Jones misses time where you can see Jordan Mason take that backfield over.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
The Yankees have an 80.7% chance of still making the playoffs. That just tells you that parity is alive and well in Major League Baseball, where mediocre teams can still make the playoffs, and the Yankees are mediocre but have above mediocre talent. So if they can put it together, you still got an 80% chance of playing postseason baseball.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Combat Sports Report continues. I am Gabe Morency on the SportsGrid Radio and Television Network. We're breaking it down with the badass for the BKFC, the wild boy, Drew Stuve. He's kicking it in Cabo right now. And a great summer. Congratulations on the engagement. So 3-0, you're rolling along in BKFC, but you fought in Alberta. So we talked about it's cool. It's your backyard. It's very cool that they thought enough of you to make you the main event. And, you know, you've become kind of the face of this, actually, in Canada, to be honest. Canadian media picking it up, and it's super cool right now. But you want to take that next step. When's the next time you're going to fight? Have you talked to them already about this? Is there someone that you want specifically out there? What is next for the wild boy Stuve right now, Drew?
Zeb Vincent actually called me out on my OnlyFans exclusive, like where the post-fight thing where they follow you out of the ring. Zeb Vincent called me out and wants to fight, so hey, I'll take that fight. I talked to Chris. I said, Chris Lyle, I said, let's send. I was like, it's a good step up in competition for me. I'm pretty sure he was in the top 10 in the world for a bit there, so yeah, I'm down to fight him. So I hope they set that up. Like I said, I don't have any injuries. I got like a tiny little cut on my eye. It'll be healed in a couple weeks here. So I'm ready to rock whenever.
Ideally, how many times would you like to fight a year? You know, like 3, 4? Right,
ideally,
right?
3, 4, man. Yeah. Like that was my first bare knuckle fight in a year. Like I can't be waiting a year, man. I'm not getting any younger.
Drew Wildboy Stuve with us. I got to ask you, so you played hockey growing up, and people always say that goalies are always the crazy dude, right, on the team. Maybe you proved them right with that, actually. All these years. And is there a dude, you got to have played with some psychos over the years when you played hockey. Are there guys that were, like, super tough guys that you played with that now, like, tell you, man, I can't believe you do what you do, because that's nuts. Like, are you, like, the last guy on your hockey team from when you were a kid would think would be in a bare knuckle fight professionally?
No, like I said, I didn't fight in hockey, but I was always getting in street fights, and everybody knew that. So like I feel like it's not super surprising to lots of people I grew up with.
I like that though. That goalies are. You know what, I like this, Drew, because I was a goalie as well, and I'm a little crazy myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my grandfather played for the Montreal Canadiens. My uncle actually played for the Oilers even, and he was a fighter, Kurt Brackenberry. Like, he used to throw. Yeah, he was on the team with Gretzky and Semenko and stuff like that. Are you an Oiler fan or anything like that? Are you a hockey fan still?
Die-hard Oilers fan.
Man, it's heartbreaking, huh? The last couple of years.
2 years in a row, man. Oh, I went to one of the games in the finals this year in Edmonton. It was crazy. The one they won in overtime, actually. So it was a sick game to be at.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. So I wanted to ask you, you think, it's going to be about a couple of months before you're ready to go here. Sky's the limit for you here. How far do you think you can take this into BKFC right now?
Man, I'm going to make it. I'm not doing this just for fun, just to say I did it. I'm doing this to become champion. So, like, I know Dave Mundell's got the belt at my weight class. He's the pound for pound best. But, hey, man, you got to shoot for the stars, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm going for the belt.
Drew, Wild Boy Stuve. Drew, it's great having you on the program, man. Congratulations on the success. Congratulations on the marriage. And let's talk when the fight is booked next time. We'll let you enjoy your vacation in Cabo off the big win, man. But thanks for taking the time to be with us, Drew. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, man.
There's Drew, Wild Boy Stuve. I had to ask him about the Edmonton Oilers. I knew that he was a hockey fan and a hockey player growing up. If there's a sport, we've talked about this in the past. Football players don't transition very well for whatever reason into combat sport, right? We brought this up a lot in the past. Hockey is different. Like hockey players, if you look at hockey fights, that is bare knuckle fighting, point blank. And in fact, they're not even wearing tape, right? I think Steve Bosse is a good example. Steve Bosse was he had zero fighting experience. Steve Bosse was like a hockey goon. Right. And man, he started like knocking people out. He got into the UFC pretty fast tracked and stuff. Like, I'm thinking about a guy like George Laraque. You're telling me that George Laraque wouldn't have been a good like bare knuckle fighter? Tony Twist, like I could go on and on. Hell, like Bob Probert. You know what I mean? It's like hockey goons are almost like, bare knuckle fighters before bare knuckle fighting. But I did find it interesting. Right, we talked about this last week with Dustin Pegg as well. It's not for everybody, man, the BKFC. Like, even badass fighters, they get hit too much, right? Like, you're literally getting lit up in this stuff, and I don't care how tough you are. People don't like getting punched in the face, and I thought it was interesting when I saw Luke Rockhold. He said that, like, the ropes are, like, super hard. There's nowhere, like, you know what I mean? Everything is just so locked in and boxed in. And Luke Rockhold's talking about how, well, I don't want to get my teeth knocked out for next to nothing. That's when you know you're not a fighter anymore, right? Like, I don't think Wild Boy cares if he gets his teeth knocked out, right? Like, you got to embrace that. Like, the days that starts to happen, when I see Luke Rockhold, like, I don't know, like, Luke Rockhold should be in, like, TNA Wrestling or something like that, or A&E or whatever the hell it is. Like, if he doesn't want to fight for real, that's, this is as real as it gets. And it's just crazy. Like the speed of a BKFC fight it really is just like rock and sock 'em. Remember the old like rock and sock 'em? The game, boom, 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 boom. Super speed. Like, and I think the boxers, I think the mixed martial artists dudes, some of them are just like tough son of a bitches, right? And you're seeing that, like, they can thrive in this due to their psychoticness. That's basically, right? You got some of these dudes that are just nuts. They're super tough. Their will can't be broken. They don't really feel pain, or they embrace pain and they like it. And then you got the boxer types who are more like technique. And I think, like, that's the thing with Wild Boy. Wild Boy looks like a street fighter and stuff, but his technique is good. And that's why he's beating these dudes that have been around. He's got good boxing technique. So I'm fascinated as I learn more about, like, sort of like, I see the different type of BKFC fighters and their backgrounds and what they're bringing to the table. But shout out to the Wild Boy. We'll definitely have him on again moving forward. The Combat Sports Report on the SportsGrid Radio and Television Network continues.
We all know nothing beats the energy of playing live roulette in a casino. But playing roulette online sure does have its perks. At the casino, you'll average 40 to 50 spins per hour. But online, you're looking at 100 to 150. The more spins, the more chance of wins. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
He said that was his decision, not a smart baseball play. Like, shut up, Dave. Like, you know what I mean? Like, really. If Ohtani wants to steal third base on his own, let him steal third base on his own, bro. Like, he's Shohei Ohtani. He made the call. He was wrong. He was out. Okay. I wouldn't have called him out for it.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Combat Sports Report continues and wraps up right now with a couple of loose ends. We'll give you a couple of picks on the way out. I think we won every pick we gave you last week, actually, so let's keep this rolling. But obviously, follow me on X, and I'll post picks on Fight Night, and you see the weigh-ins and all that other type of stuff. Weigh-ins, stare-downs, and last-second breaking news. So follow me on X, but it'd be remiss of us not to bring up the big news. One of the biggest story of the week this week in combat sport was the UFC television deal and streaming deal with Paramount. $7.7 billion for 7 years. Now, I wasn't around. I was watching the UFC and like UFC 1 and all those type of days. I'm from Montreal, and Montreal had this stuff like when it was illegal. Like the cops used to raid it. It was on like the native reservations and stuff, right? And Montreal has a big kickboxing history and boxing. Like, so the UFC was on in bars in Montreal early, and there's a lot of combat. The TKO with GSP in Montreal was a big company. Like GSP was a champion in Quebec before he went to the UFC, etc. So it was always big, right? So like, I've been watching the UFC forever, and watching like the growth and like the exponential, the revenues is just insane. Like, put it this way, it wasn't out long ago, guys, if you recall. And I remember it was Junior Dos Santos, because I got lost on the way to the fight. It was Junior Dos Santos and Cain Velasquez in Anaheim. And we legit got lost, like on the way to the arena in Anaheim, like in Anaheim, and actually gave up and ended up in like a sports biker bar. But that was the first ever night on Fox. And I wanted to make a big deal about it, so they had Junior Dos Santos and Cain Velasquez on. Think about how cool those days were. And Dos Santos beat him. I think he hit him in a temple or whatever. It was one of the rare fights that Cain lost. But my point is, it was like a massive deal at the time that they got $100 million a year from Fox. $100 million a year. And like, it was like, wow, we got $100 million a year, and wow, it's a lot of money. And the UFC is like, wow, like what a big deal. And they're on Fox, and they're on broadcast TV now, and like they're getting $100 million a year. Now they're getting $1.1 billion a year. And, I said, I don't think the UFC is as hot as it used to be, like from a fan perspective. Like, sports bars aren't full once a month now for the pay-per-views, and we don't have that. Oh my God, this guy's fighting that guy now, right? It's not the same now. But from a monetary standpoint, they make more money than they've ever made before, and it continues to grow. And the UFC is more about the quantity than the quality. Not that the quality is bad, but it's more about, we have this huge, massive catalog, and we have thousands of fighters under contract, and we're going to put on 50 shows a year or whatnot, and it's big time content, and it's gambling content for people. I think it's good for fight fans because it'll be cheaper for fight fans. People that actually paid for everything were paying like about $1,300 a year. Now it's going to be like $200 or $300 a year, whatever, like $12.99 a month or whatever Paramount is, depending on where you are, etc. But like, and I saw them $12.99, $7.99, $12.99, whatever it is. It's the final package is going to be. I think I saw Shapiro say $12.99, but it will be cheaper for people. I saw Brendan Schaub saying that it won't be good for fighters because they won't ever try to build any stars now because they don't really care. They've already got all the money, which is kind of true. I think a big part of this, too, of them dropping a pay-per-view model. You don't drop the pay-per-view model if you're making big money from it. And I think finally it's the one thing. Dana White and the UFC have been pretty much invincible, and they beat all competitors, and they steamroll everybody. The one entity that they could not beat, the streaming sites. The streaming sites can't beat it, and they're like, it's whack-a-mole. There's so many of them out there, that millions of people are watching the UFC, and they know it, and they're not getting paid for it. So why fight it anymore and let it be somebody else's problem and just get the $1.1 billion? I promise you that the streaming aspect of it was brought up in dropping the pay-per-view model in the big picture. Shout out to all of our guests, including Jena Bishop, PFL, BKFC's Drew Wildboy Stuve, Gamblu from Gamblu.com. Shout out to our crew. Thanks for watching. Other than that, you're on your own. Later.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
He is not Derrick Henry. He is not one of those special backs in that sense. A really good one that's been outstanding in fantasy for quite some time. But you can also hear the buzz recently about it being more of a split backfield. And if that's so, then Aaron Jones' value takes a hit, Jordan Mason's value goes up, and there's an opportunity at some point if Aaron Jones misses time where you can see Jordan Mason take that backfield over.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
It's a safe shot, pin high left with a 6-iron. And then this is where JJ enters the fray again and hits this like slice 5-iron. That was just, I mean, it curved probably a good, 30, 40 feet, almost flies in the hole. And it was just a crazy shot because nobody would ever really try to hit that type of slider.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
An HRR, parlay, a combo that you want to do. I generally prefer away teams and players that hit at the top of the lineup or in the top half, just because you are guaranteed just that extra plate appearance here or there. How many times, throughout the season, I've been like, listen, if this guy gets on, he will have one more at bat in the 9th inning. And if he doesn't get there, he doesn't get there. If you just take them that place higher, they're going to be in a spot to cash that bet.
Pro Baseball Today.